Hi Nana, how are you everyone? I'm good. In my previous lecture, I had given introduction about gravitation. In that introduction, I had already told you that Kepler has given us three laws which are named as Kepler's laws. Okay, and first law is law of orbits. And second one, law of areas, and the third law is named as law of periods. Okay, I will explain first law, Kepler's first law. It is stated as, Kepler's first law is stated as, all the planets moves in elliptical orbits with the sun situated at one of the foci. Okay, all the planets moves in elliptical orbits with the sun situated at one of the foci. This is the statement for law of orbits. Okay, what is elliptical orbit? Do you know about ellipse? This is a circle, right? This is a circle with the center O, and R is the radius of the circle. But coming to the ellipse have the center O. Okay, and this is divided as foci 1, F1 and F2. Foci, we call it as foci. Ellipse contains two foci, and if you join these two foci points and extend this line to meet the ellipse, okay, this line PA is known as semi-major axis. So ellipse contains two foci and a center O. Okay, and the line which passes through these two foci, or which joins these foci, is known as semi-major axis. Okay, and a perpendicular line which passes through the center is known as semi-minor axis. Okay, if you take any point on this ellipse, okay, and measure the distance from the foci F1 to these points, and you just add all these distances. Okay, add all these distances. For F1, add all the distances as D1 plus D2 plus so on. Okay, and you just repeat for F2, foci F2. Okay, the distance from F2 to these points on this ellipse. Okay, the distance from this foci to the points on the ellipse. You just again add all these points. Okay, and you will obtain the sum of all these distances for F1 and F2. Okay, this, whatever you got, the sum of all the distances from F1 and F2 to the ellipse are equal. Okay, F1 and F2, the distance from the ellipse to this foci, both are equal. The distances are equal. Okay, if these two foci F1 and F2 merge together at one point, you will obtain a circle. And this semi-major axis becomes as the radius of the circle. Okay, this is about ellipse. Okay, and coming to the first law of Kepler's laws, all the planets move in the elliptical orbits. Okay, all the planets will move in these elliptical orbits. Okay, with the sun situated at one of the foci. Sun might situate at F1 or F2 at one point, at one place. Okay, at one of the foci sun will be situated, and all the planets will revolve in these elliptical orbits. Okay, this is about first law, Kepler's first law. And coming to the second law, Kepler's second law, law of areas. Second law is known as law of areas, and this law is stated as the line that joins any planet to the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time t. Okay, if this is an elliptical orbit in which planets are revolving, okay, and here the sun is situated. Okay, the line that joining any planet to the sun. Okay, I am taking a line. If here Earth is this is the position of the Earth, if this is the position of the Earth, and I am taking the line from the sun to the position of the Earth. Okay, this line sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. Okay, see, if the time taken to cover this area is 4 seconds, okay, and this area in 4 seconds, okay, the area in both this time, at t1 time and at t2 time, will be equal. Okay, the line which joins the planet to the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. Okay, and one more point, this is the sun. Okay, foci, this is a foci at which the sun is situated. Okay, and the farthest point is A and the nearest point is P. Okay, and this nearest point, or the distance between the foci to the nearest point, is known as perihelion. Okay, and the farthest point is known as ephelion. Okay, ephelion and perihelion. Farthest point is ephelion and nearest point is perihelion. Okay, nothing but the distance between the foci and the nearest point, and the distance between the foci and the farthest point. Okay, so from this statement you can say that the planets move faster at perihelion and slower at ephelion. Okay, this is about law of areas. And coming to the next law, third law is law of periods. This law states that the square of the time period of revolution of a planet is proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of the ellipse. ellipse. Okay, of the ellipse which was traced out by the planets. Okay, law of period states that the square of the time period, see, square of the time period, nothing but t square, the square of the time period of revolution of the planet. Okay, planets are revolving in these elliptical orbits. Okay, now the time period to complete one revolution in this ellipse is taken as t. Okay, so here the definition or the statements is given as square of the time period is t square. This is directly proportional to cube of the semi major axis. This is the semi major axis, right? And I am taking this as a. Okay, the square of the time period of the revolution of the planet is proportional to cube of the semi major axis of these elliptical orbits in which the planets are revolving. Okay, this is about law of periods. Okay, these are the statements which was given by the Kepler. Okay, which are named as Kepler's laws. Okay, these are the three statements which are given by Kepler and named as Kepler's laws. And from these three laws, Newton proposed, based on these three laws, Newton proposed universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation. In my next class, I will explain you about this universal law of gravitation. Okay, Nana? Bye.